Okay, you're going to want to pay attention to this because the entire world of open source AI just got completely turned on its head. A brand new model just dropped, and believe me, it's not just some small update. We are talking about a serious, legitimate contender for the crown. You know how it's been for a while, right? The most powerful, most capable AI models have been pretty much under lock and key, held by a few huge players. Your OpenAIs, your Googles, your Anthropics. Their best stuff is all proprietary, closed source. Well, that's all changing. A new open weights model is here, which means its guts are publicly available for anyone to use and innovate on. And it is playing in the big leagues. And this isn't just hype. Look, the proof is right here. This new model, it's called GLM-5, is going toe-to-toe with the absolute best of the best. We're talking models like the unreleased GPT 5.2 and the latest from Claude. And just look at this chart. Across 8 incredibly difficult tests for reasoning, for coding, for its ability to act like an agent, GLM-5 is right there, holding its own. So let's actually break down that performance, because these results, they're nothing short of a revolution for the entire open source community. Now, what you're looking at here is the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index. This isn't just one simple test, okay? It's a combined score from 10 different really tough evaluations that cover everything from writing code to just basic common sense. And would you look at where GLM-5 has landed? Right in the middle of all the proprietary giants. So the number you need to remember is this one, 50. It might not look like a huge number on its own, but trust me, this is a massive deal. No other open-weights model has ever managed to crack this score on this index. It's a crystal clear sign that open source AI has just hit a whole new level of power. And hey, this isn't all about machines grading other machines. LM Arena is a platform where millions of real people, actual humans, vote on which AI's answer is better for real-world problems. And in that arena, GLM-5 is now the #1 ranked open model for both generating text and for writing code. This thing is the real deal. So, the big question is, right? How did they do it? How do you build a model this powerful when you don't have the insane resources of a tech giant? Well, the answer really boils down to some brilliant innovations in making the AI way more efficient. The first big piece of this puzzle is something called DeepSeek Sparse Attention, or DSA. The easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like speed reading. See, older models, they had to read and pay attention to every single word in a document. It's super slow and costs a ton of computing power. DSA, on the other hand, is smart. It learns how to just find and focus on the most important keywords. And that efficiency boost is just enormous. It radically cuts down the cost to train and run the model. And that's exactly what let them scale GLM-5 up to an absolutely mind-boggling 744 billion parameters. And because it's so darn efficient, it can chew through huge documents. We're talking over 128,000 tokens without even breaking a sweat. But a breakthrough architecture is really only half the story. To make an AI that's truly capable, you've got to teach it how to think and how to act. And GLM-5's training process is built from the ground up to do just that. What you're seeing here is basically the model's entire education, from start to finish. It begins with the standard pre-training on just a gigantic amount of text and code. But the real magic, the secret sauce, happens over on the right in what they call the post-training phase. That's where they turn a simple knowledge base into an actual problem solver. This post-training part is built on a really clever 3-step process using reinforcement learning. First, they use reasoning RL to make it super sharp at logic problems in math and science. Then, and this is key, Agentic RL teaches it how to use tools like a calculator or a web browser to get things done. And finally, General RL just polishes it up to be a helpful, easy-to-talk-to assistant. And one of the coolest things that comes out of all this training is that GLM-5 literally has thinking modes. Look at this diagram. You can see it can actually insert a reasoning step before it gives an output or uses a tool. They call this interleaved thinking, and it means the model can pause, think, and plan its next move. That makes it way better at following complex instructions. So, okay, we've seen the impressive test scores, we've looked under the hood of the tech, but what does all this actually mean in the real world? Let's check out a really fascinating practical test of what this thing can do. Get this, it's called the Vending Bench 2 test. They tasked the AI with running a fake vending machine business for an entire simulated year. This isn't about answering one question. It's about making hundreds of decisions over time, managing stock, changing prices, reacting to what's happening.
It's a real test of long-term planning and reasoning.
And the result? After that one simulated year, GLM5's business ended up with a bank balance of over $4,000. It actually ran a profitable business. This proves it can handle these really complex long-term tasks that need consistent planning. It's amazing.
So when you put it all together, the super efficient design, the specialized training, the incredible real-world performance, it all points to a much bigger shift in how we're even thinking about building AI.
And the key idea to take away from all this is a concept called agentic engineering. We are fundamentally moving away from just building AIs that are like fancy encyclopedias or text predictors. The new goal is to engineer models that can act as autonomous agents, AIs that can understand a goal, create a plan, use tools, and solve problems all on their own. GLM5 is a huge leap forward in that future. And that, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. For the very first time, a truly top-tier, state-of-the-art AI model is open weights. It's available for everyone: researchers, developers, artists, you name it. So now that this kind of power is in the hands of the many instead of just the few, what happens next?